Hello. In this guide, you will learn how to create and manage data within the encounter. This functionality is available to doctors, nurses, and partially to receptionists, depending on the rules of your clinic. Let's consider the scenario where the doctor uses all the functionalities. Log in the system as a doctor. As you can see, the doctor has a dashboard displaying a list. These are the patients who have scheduled an appointment with doctor. Scheduled time slots and patients' full names are visible. Their date of birth also displayed, along with a series of auxiliary symbols. Green dots indicate that the appointment has been completed. Blue indicates that the appointment is in progress. You may notice that some patients have red triangle symbol. This means that the patient's record has not been validated. Let's show how you can validate a patient. You need to click on the record and perform validation by entering a more comprehensive set of patient data. In this case, we generate the patient's consent for processing personal data. Once the client's data is validated, we can print a form for the client and the patient to sign. After this, they become a validated patient. The icon with the red triangle disappears. To start the visits, you must check in patient, like this. Enter encounter's general data type. First visit or follow-up. Reason for the visit. For example, a chronic illness. You can add additional comments regarding the visit. The system automatically filled in the data. The date, time, doctor's room number, and some other details. The first step is to add the services that will be provided to the patient. This is preliminary information. We have added 2 services that will be provided. The encounter is now set up. Within the encounter, you can see several components. Section: General information. Vital signs. Intake and treatment plan. Diagnosis section. Referrals section. Medications section. And services section. Additional section for monitoring and screening. Let's start from the beginning. At the top of the screen, you can see medical summary. The patient has not been prescribed any medications. No previous diagnoses have been established. Information about their allergies is also absent because this is probably the patient's first visit to our clinic. The number of the encounter, its date, and status. The patient has arrived and payment has not yet been made. We record vital signs data, including height, weight. The system automatically calculates the BMI. See here. Temperature. The location where the temperature was measured. The number of respirations, oxygen, blood situation. Waist circumference. If there is pain, it can be assessed as well. Pulse rate, as well as blood pressure, both systolic and diastolic. The next part is the intake, where the doctor enters clinical notes. We have 3 ways to enter clinical notes right from scratch. Or using predefined templates. Doctors can create their own templates for clinical notes. If we have a patient with type 2 diabetes, we can use the corresponding clinical notes template. As you can see, the system automatically filled in the clinical template. Now you can customize a visit. A simple panel allows you to format text as needed. And the third option is voice input. Voice notes. Notes completed. After entering notes and plan, don't forget to save the data. If you have created clinical notes from scratch, you can save them as a template for future use. You will be able to use it in the future. You can also schedule the date for the patient's next visit. The next section involves entering the diagnosis. The system uses ICD-11 or ICD-10. Enter the first few letters of your diagnosis. Select Diagnosis. You can see the diagnosis is now added. You can remove it if you selected it by mistake. You can also determine whether the diagnosis is primary or secondary. You can also specify if a diagnosis is confirmed or just suspected. You can also enter a more detailed clinical diagnosis. To do this, click the special switcher and enter the free text of the clinical diagnosis. Select its type and its status. In the list of diagnoses, clinical diagnoses are highlighted with a special font, while an ICD diagnosis has its unique code. By switching the type, you can change it, as well as its status. In next section, you can create referrals. For immunizations, specialists' consultations with other specialists, laboratory tests, or other investigations. Select Referral. In this case, choose a vaccine. Add notes if necessary, and save the changes. The system has created a referral with a unique number. You can edit it or delete it if necessary. The next and very important section is the medication section. In this section, you prescribe medications for the patient's treatment. Click the plus sign to access the medication catalog, where you can select a medicine. To do this, enter the first few letters and select the medication. Additionally, you need to enter the start date of its intake, which by default is the current date, and specify the intake schedule. Quantity, duration, or an indefinite period, if unlimited use of medication is intended. You can add usage instructions and special notes for patients regarding its use. Click the Add button. You can also add a medication that is not in the system catalog. Simply write the name. As you can see, we have added 2 medications, which you can modify or delete if was mistakenly entered. Next section. Services. During check-in, the receptionist, doctor, or nurse added services that will be provided to the patient. You can add other additional services or modify those already assigned. Monitoring. To add a record, you need to have a chronic condition you monitor. Add it in the corresponding section. Fill in the chronic condition form. Now let's enter the monitoring. Select the chronic condition you monitor. A patient may have one or several chronic conditions. Completion date. Type of monitoring. Findings. Add more information in text form. Save the data. The system has added a record for monitoring the chronic condition. That's it. The final section of the encounter is screening. Click the icon. This one. Select the provider, date, and type of screening. You can additionally enter the screening results or your remarks in text form. Save the changes. In this way, we have entered all the data. The encounter system allows you to complete all sections or just some of them. Remember to save the data. Click the corresponding button. After that, the visit encounter is complete. Don't forget to generate the invoice. The invoice with a list of services provided to the patient. After you have printed the invoice and given it to the patient, System Send Data to Cashier. As you can see, the system has generated an invoice with a unique number and marked the payment status as unpaid. Subsequently, The patient makes the payment to the cashier. After that, payment status changed to pay. At the end of the visit, don't forget to set the status to completed. You can also generate report. Print the visit report and provide it to the patient. After encounter is completed, you may notice that its status has changed to completed. Payment status is to pay. You can return to the list of scheduled visits to continue your work and create a new encounter. Thank you.